on vacation here in Black Hills, South Dakota, and today I've created a flow for you that's called Vacation Constipation. It has a bunch of twists and it's here to help wake up the gut. Let's get started. We're gonna lay flat on our backs. Our feet are gonna be together, knees out at the side. We're going to have just a few centering breaths here. Welcome to keep the hands on the belly. Really try to feel the big inhales expanding through the belly, using 360 degrees of your tummy and your chest. And exhale, fully decompressing your chest, your belly, to expel all that old air. Inhale, nice, large and long breaths. Really feel the tummy rise. And exhale, let's blow it all away. Last inhale here, let's really try to breathe in some positive energy for today's class. Breathing it in all the way down to the belly. And let's exhale all that negative energy that is not serving us. All right, so first twist of the class, let's bring the knees in together. Bring them in, let's give them a great big hug. We'll tee the arms out and drop the knees over to the right. Now be sure that that left shoulder is not coming up and off of the ground. Knees do not need to hit the ground, just as long as they're headed in the right direction. Let's bring them back to center and over to the other side. Now once again, let's make sure we're keeping the right shoulder down on the ground this time. Knees do not need to hit the floor. Take a deep inhale and see if on your exhale you can deepen the twist. It'll be a very common cue for today's class. Let's bring them back to center. Now let's bring our feet up and let's grab the outsides of the feet, pinky toe sides of the foot, or the shin, drawing energy through our knees down towards the ground. Try to keep that pelvis grounded to the floor. Happy baby here. Option to keep it static or dynamic. You can always move around at any time, whatever feels better for you and your body today. All right, now let's set the left foot down. I'm gonna bring the right foot on top for a figure four. And then we're gonna twist it over to the left. So that right footprint should now be on the ground. Same thought here, that right shoulder should not be up and off of the ground. Make sure it's glued down. Bring it back to center. Now let's switch it out. So right foot down, left foot up on the knee, and now the left foot twists so it's touching the floor. Left shoulder is glued to the ground. Deep inhale. And then exhale, release, deepening the twist. Back to center. Let's bring both knees in, hug it out. And you roll around, a gentle massage on the spine. Then we will rock and roll a couple of times. So we're in a seated position. So from here, I'm just gonna face you so that you can see what's going on here. I'm gonna bring my hands up and behind my head. What we're gonna do is crunch down into a small little ball, making sure we're engaging the abs, rounding the shoulders, making ourselves as small as we can. And then come up. Maybe a little bit of a back bend up at the top, opening through the chest and the collarbones. Curl up one more time. Then inhale back up, opening up through the collarbones, bringing the elbows away from the face. All right, back to a neutral spine. Let's do a little bit of trunk twisting. Turn to the left. We're just using our bellies to turn us as far as we can go in either direction. One more on each side. Last one. Okay, from here we're gonna do a couple of windshield wipers. So feet should be about mat distance apart, facing the front of the mat. I'm gonna just drop the knees over to each side. Sitting bones should not be moving too much here. I'm gonna be pretty glued to the ground. You're gonna be feeling the stretch on both sides of the hips. Could be an inside and even an outside hip opener. All right, on this next one, let's drop the knees over to the left, and now we're going to turn our upper bodies to the left as well. Now, make sure that in this twist, we're keeping our chin over our heart. This pose is called merman. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, deepen the twist. One more breath on this side. Inhale, and exhale. All right, now back to center, nice and neutral, and then windshield wiper those legs over to the right, and then twist our upper bodies to the right. Remember to keep that chin over heart. We don't want to look too far in the other direction. Inhale through the nose, lengthening the spine, and exhale, deepening the twist. Last breath here. All right, untwist yourself. Let's come back to a neutral position. We're gonna find our way onto our hands and feet for cat and cow. It's just a really good spinal flexibility pose. We wanna make sure that on our vacations, taking care of our spine, no matter where we are. So inhaling for cow and exhaling for cat. One more time, drop the belly, inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Rounding through the spine, shoulders. All right, now we're gonna do some bird dog crunches. So let's bring the right leg up. And we're gonna crunch around it, curl around with your spine, push the floor away. And then exhale, let's bring it on back. Exhale, curling the spine around the knee. And then inhale, bring it on back. All right, let's switch it out. So this time, left leg's gonna go back and then bring it on in. Curl around that left leg. Bring it on back. One more. Exhale. And inhale. Let's go ahead and set it down. So from here, I'm gonna bring my left hand up behind my head. Try to open up as much as I can through the rib cage. So bring that left elbow up towards the ceiling. And then I'm gonna bring my elbows together. Do some elbow taps. Remember, in the hand that's planted on the ground, you wanna push the floor away, nice and strong and through the shoulders. Last one. All right, let's plant the left hand. Now bring the right hand behind the head. Stretch up, really looking up towards the sky. Bring the elbow up. And then let's tap elbows together. Do this a couple of times. All right, give me one more. Okay, plant the hands. This time I'm gonna rise up into plank just enough to bring my right foot forward and then set my left knee down. Untucking the toes. I'm gonna bring my hands up to my knee. I'm gonna stretch the hip flexors. Hip flexors are also very important to keep loose for any sort of mobility that may be soon coming your way after this flow. So sink into it for just a little bit longer here. Make sure that knee is not going over the front toes. Now that our hips are nice and open, what we're gonna do here is bring our hands into prayer and bring our left elbow to our right knee for a twist. Making sure there's equal pressure between the elbow and the knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, deepen the twist. One more breath. All right, now let's untwist. And bring the right foot back. Bring the left knee up. Set the right knee down, untuck the toes, and bring the hands up for our hip flexor opening. It seems that we have some guests for today's class. The fun thing about yoga is you can do it anywhere, and you never know who you might meet along the way. So inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, sink into those hips. All right, let's bring our hands into prayer. We're gonna bring our right elbow to our left knee. Gentle twist here, lengthening the spine on your inhale. And exhale, see if you can deepen the twist. Last breath. All right, let's plant the hands. Step my left foot back into plank. Hang out in downward facing dog for just a breath here. Deep inhale and exhale. I'm gonna bring the right leg on through just so I can spin to the middle of my mat for you guys to see. So my feet should be parallel with the ends of the mat. I keep my left hand down and we're gonna spin the right hand up. We're just gonna hold this for a breath. So take a deep inhale and exhale. Let's switch it out. So planting the right hand, lifting the left arm. Take a deep inhale through the nose and out through the nose. All right, now I'm gonna bring my left hand on through and I'm gonna try to grab my right foot. Option to bring that hand out a little bit further. Get it out of your way if that helps you deepen the twist. All right, let's switch it out. So bring the left hand out and bring the right leg through. Grab your left foot or ankle. All right, back to neutral. I'm gonna bring my feet a little bit closer together. Heels in, toes out. And now we are going to find our prayer hands and let's sit down into Malasana or a yogi squat. Find a nice comfortable footing for you. Make sure there's equal pressure between your elbow and your knees. Tall spine. Don't want any sagging in the shoulders. An option to just keep it static, or you can sway, opening up through the hips, you shifting your weight from one foot to the other. And now I'm gonna plant my right hand and we're gonna twist. So planting my right hand over by my right foot and lift the left arm up, looking over to the left. Once again, equal pressure between the leg and the arm. We wanna make sure that we're not pushing into one of those two joints. All right, let's switch it out. So left hand is gonna come down by my left foot and let's bring the right arm up. Inhaling the arm up and exhaling. One more breath. All right, finding our Malasana one last time. Opening up in through the hips. All right, we're gonna end in child's pose. I do have one more twist to add, so let's be sure we're finding a good child's pose first. So toes are touching. I have my knees out wide. You can put them in together. Might just make the twist a little bit harder. So finding our child's pose. I'm gonna twist towards you, so I'll keep my left hand down. I'm gonna bring my right hand like I'm threading the needle, and maybe even moving my left hand just up a little bit so I can twist up towards the sky. One more breath. All right, let's switch it out. I'm gonna plant my right hand, thread the needle with my left. You might notice you have to move that arm just a little bit so you can sort of Spin up towards the sky. Let's plant both hands. We're just gonna rest here in child's pose. Give me a couple deep breaths to end our practice. Last breath together. Thank you for joining me for today's vacation constipation class. May this flow help you go, and I hope your yoga practice continues to thrive.